Today, we are talking about the 3 main ways to get started in investing in real estate. Hey everybody, you're kicking it with the Homeboys and the Homeboys podcast, where we talk everything in the world of real estate investing. Whether you're just getting started or a seasoned vet, we're going to give you our over 40 years combined real estate experience to help you on your investing journey.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna cover some really cool ways that anyone can get into investing in real estate, and the disadvantages and advantages of each of these 3 ways, which are turnkey, fix and flip, and BRRRR. They're the main ways that people invest in real estate, especially when they're getting started, those 3. And we're going to start with turnkey, right?
Absolutely. It is the business in a box that we talk about on here on our show so often. This is something that if you don't have a lot of time, this is a great way to get started into real estate. It's also a great way is if real estate is overinflated in your area, you don't have to do turnkey where you're from. You can do this anywhere in the country.
Explain what turnkey is first.
So
you used to do the little turnkey is a business.
Turnkey is a
box.
Business in a box. So turnkey real estate is basically you are buying a piece of property, a home that has already been renovated, has already went through inspections, comes with a warranty on it, and comes with a tenant already in the property producing you rental income from day one.
Yeah, and it's usually done by a company that has all of those things in place to then continue to manage that property for you, where you just get a paycheck. You just get a check each month with your tenant's revenue. So it's a really cool way for somebody who is, say, doesn't have much time, but is a high earner, or has an inheritance, or a large sum of money, or they've just saved up and they want to own rental properties, but they don't want the risk of trying to find the property themselves, and they don't know where to buy the property and what areas work. It's great for those kind of people because it's set up to hit the ground running on day one. It's hand selected by a turnkey company that knows which areas work, which areas get the best returns, and it's all done for you. It's like getting a new house with a tenant already paying you. It's the easiest way to get into rental investing, but you gotta have some down payment money for this.
Yeah, absolutely. You're looking at roughly a 20% down payment, to get into turnkey real estate. There's other ways that you may be able to get around that, but you got to go in expecting that you're going to pay 20%. And we always believe in having a little bit of skin in the game, anyway, that you're able to make more sound real estate decisions if you are saving money to get, into that and take ownership of that property. So yeah, 20% down. One of the drawbacks to turnkey, most of the time it's going to be near, market value. You're not getting in with a lot of equity. Keep in mind, it's been a very competitive real estate market for everyone. So your turnkey provider has had to purchase this house, had to fix it up, had to have it inspected, had to have their property management staff lease the property. A lot of expenses. So you are paying pretty close, just expect full price, for turnkey.
So why should you buy a full price property? Well, because rental properties, you make money 3 ways. 1, that tenant pays down your mortgage for you. So they're paying off that debt for you. In theory, in 30 years when that mortgage is done, that is a free house that will have appreciated over time, and it will be free and clear. You'll have no mortgage. So the tenant pays off your mortgage. Properties appreciate over time. Historically, no matter what, there's ups and downs during short terms, but historically, over time, properties do appreciate. And third, your mortgage payment stays the same and rents go up. Those are just the facts. Now, your mortgage payment may go up a bit if you're including taxes and insurance, as your taxes and insurance go up a little bit over time, but rents outpace that historically across the board. So you've got 3 main reasons why you buy turnkey. It's about building long-term wealth. That's what we believe in. That's why we offer a lot of turnkey properties to our clients. We sell a lot of turnkey properties for our clients, but there's also other markets like Charlotte and Cincinnati and a lot of these other really stable markets that a lot of clients go and buy turnkey in. And the beauty is you don't have to live in where you're buying when it's turnkey. These providers are set up all over Jacksonville, Florida,
Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, they're
places
all over.
where cash flow is still really strong, for rental property. There's lots of places in the country cash flow is a thing of the past. So you got to go to where, the good cash flowing markets are.
Well, next up, let's cover what you did in your early years in your career.
Man, this is how I got my start in real estate business.
It is.
I was just like a lot of people when I was young. I wanted to make more money, and that was my goal. I also watched some of the crazy fix and flip shows. They were even popular 25 years ago. But, that's really how I got my entry into real estate.
Well, I think everyone knows what fix and flip means, but explain it to them just in case.
So fix and flip is you're buying the property, you're fixing it up or in charge of having the property fixed up, and then you're selling it, for a profit. And like I said, these shows are really sexy. And a lot of times in sexy markets, that people really think that they're going to get in, they're going to make $300,000 a house. I throw a caveat out there. They're not very realistic when you're watching them, on TV. In our market here in the Midwest in Indianapolis, that's almost unheard of to be able to do that. But I believe in it because I did it for myself. And why? I was looking to build up money. I was wanting to quit my day job, and it provided that means, for me. So if you have a little bit of extra time, this is for you.
Yeah, great point.
For me, I'm relatively handy enough to be dangerous. So it worked for me to be out in the field and watching my contractors, babysitting my contractors.
You just like sitting in a lawn chair in the kitchen, watching them work, making sure they were doing it right.
Hey, I called it lawn chair and cooler time. I would literally park a lawn chair, in the living room,
awesome.
Kick my feet up on a cooler, and play rock music, while they were working. I was very nice to them also, but I didn't. Whenever I first got started, I didn't know a lot of the contractors, and this is a big thing that you got to watch out for whenever you're doing this. That it's easy to get ripped off by contractors, and I didn't have the money to get ripped off. It was either if I don't succeed right away on deal one, I was dead because I had nothing. So
you used your credit cards for paint and stuff at your first property.
I was maxing stuff out. So I did have time, for that. It can be done in most markets, but some markets are a lot more risky. Here in the Midwest, you don't have quite the risk that you have, say like out on the West Coast or in New York City, which flipping a property in New York City be completely unheard of. Some markets in the Northwest, the markets that I'm talking about.
I got a stat for you on fix and flip if you want it.
I'd love it.
250,000 homes are flipped each year. That's between 5 and 10% of total home sales are fix and flips. Doesn't that seem amazingly high?
It does seem amazingly high. And I think it's a scary stat for some of our listeners. I think, well, if there's 250,000 homes that are being sold that way, these people are making giant money. I think you'd be shocked how many times people do a fix and flip and don't make any money.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I used to ride around with you. I was doing a lot of rentals at the time. You were doing a lot of fix and flips, and I loved going around and seeing how you were involved in each one. So, it's a fun way to invest in real estate. But again, you do have to have time. You got to have passion. You got to have a little bit of knowledge, just a little bit, just enough to be dangerous, like you said, and you can learn a lot along the way. And it's a way to make some extra money on the side. It's a fun thing to do and a good way to make money, but you're not building long-term wealth. At our core, we have to always remind folks, we believe in the holding of real estate. That's where you make your money. So we're not saying you shouldn't do fix and flip. It's fun. It's a great way to make some money, but you're not building that wealth that you are if you do turnkey or what we talk about next, which will be the BRRRR model, because that's about holding real estate, letting a tenant pay off that mortgage for you, capturing that appreciation, getting that rental income higher and higher every year so that you can build amazing wealth that you can pass on generation to generation.
I believe in fix and flip, and obviously because that's how I got my start in fix and flip. But I think some of the biggest disadvantage is the building of long-term wealth. And I've got a quick story that you'll find interesting because we have not talked about this, and I just found this out the other day. Remember when you first met me 20 years ago, and I took you to a property that I owned on a cul-de-sac. It was a ranch, and it was under a bunch of power lines.
I know exactly which one. Over at 46 and Post,
That's
right?
correct. So I bought that place for $42,000. It sold last month for $249,000.
Wow.
I think I sold it for like 120,
which was amazing.
Which was an amazing profit. But think of that. Had I held it, how much money I left on the table. Yeah. So anyhow, I believe in fix and flip. I love fix and flip. I mean, it's a pastime for me. I enjoy doing it. But
you don't do it because you believe in the power of holding real estate now.
I do. Yeah. Which brings us to our next one.
Yeah, which is BRRRR. Can I challenge you, because we're old and we used to call this the triple dip? Can I challenge you to explain what the BRRRR stands for?
Okay, I feel like I'm back
You're on the spot.
College. So you have to buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat.
You're so good.
Come on. We did not go over that before we filmed this, but I love this method. I believe in this method. I think that, if a person has the knowledge and is able to get into the BRRRR method, I think it is a fabulous way to get into real estate and build wealth long-term for generations. It's
kind of a mix of the first two. It's kind of a mix of turnkey and fix and flip, in the sense that you're buying a property that needs to be fixed up, but you're not flipping it. You're basically turning it into a turnkey for yourself in a way. So it's kind of that magic spot in between. However, it does require somebody to have enough time and, again, enough knowledge, or contractors to do it themselves. So there's some risk. And like you said, oftentimes someone will end up with more money in the property than they would have if they had just bought it turnkey.
It definitely benefits somebody that has familiarity with the workings of a home.
Right.
That knows a little bit of plumbing, knows a little electrical, knows a little HVAC. I'm not saying able to work on it. Even if you just have the knowledge of how a home works, just to know that you're not getting ripped off by some contractor trying to upsell you, which we see all the time. We have fewer and fewer young folks are going into the trades these days, and that means it's much more difficult to find people to work on a home. So I'm not saying it's impossible. You can be a chef that has no idea anything about real estate and still do the BRRRR method and make it work. But if you don't know anything about the workings of a home, be very cautious, ask a lot of questions, get multiple bids, be very, very, very detailed, which that also then goes into the amount of time that a person has to be able to invest.
Yeah, but it's a great way to hit the ground with equity in a property that you're going to then hold that property long term. You can pull your cash out of it by refinancing like you do on one of the last R's, and then the repeat is you use that money that you got back out and do another one. So it's a way to build an amazing amount of holdings, real estate long-term holdings, with little money, and not even your own money at first, because you can use hard money, which hard money is just basically expensive money. And there are a lot of hard money lenders out there that offer 14% interest and 2 points, which sounds crazy. That's a high interest rate. But if it's for short term, while you just fix it up, then you refinance it, get that money back, and you can use it again from those companies. So
it doesn't sound as crazy today as it did a couple of years ago, because really the 14 and 2 kind of range hasn't changed. It doesn't change with the 30-year mortgage rate. But
you want to get that refinanced off as quick as possible into say a 6% rate long term, which is what we're currently having. But the BRRRR method is a beautiful method. We believe in it. We basically do it in a way ourselves, because this is what we do to sell our clients their properties. We buy homes, we fix them up, and we sell them to our clients. But you've used hard money in the past, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, and I'm a believer in hard money. I mean, keep in mind, hard money, you're not going to have the same amount of closing costs a lot of time as you would with other financing. It's a lot quicker, but you don't want hard money for a long time. No. You have to have that strategy of being able to get out and put it on, more traditional financing, because 14%. I mean, it's going to eat you up in interest.
And let me say one last disadvantage with this, which is you have a lot of that risk with these. And a couple of those items with risk are that if we enter into a market that is down for a long period of time, it is really hard to refinance and repeat. because this kind of depends on a market that's at least slightly going up for you to be able to get out all of that cash, for you to be able to then repeat it over and over. So during a market downturn, the BRRRR model is very difficult to do based on the appraisal.
It is. You see that in fix and flip and BRRRR both, that you do have market condition risk. We saw it, we've been in real estate for a long time. We saw that during the Great Recession. People had the intentions of going in and fixing, flip a property, or maybe even the BRRRR method, and then all of a sudden the market completely, went to crap. So no matter what method you're investing in real estate, have a backup strategy in case it hits the fan, if you know what I mean.
Well, we've covered the three main ways, which are turnkey, fix and flip, and the BRRRR method. All have their different strengths and some drawbacks to each, but I think that as long as you're focused on any of those, it's a great way to get into real estate, or just to be in real estate and to grow your portfolio.
Yeah, it's about long-term wealth building for us, but we understand there's lots of folks out there that want that quick buck. So these strategies kind of cover a little bit of all that. Do your research, find out which is best for you.
And click the link below. We've got a course that goes into each of these strategies in extreme detail, including spreadsheets that help you analyze properties, and all kinds of other tools and resources and books. Right now we've got 50% off on that class. Sign up below.
Happy investing.
Do you have more time than money? Then this real estate investing course is for you.
Or if you have the money, but you don't have the time to invest in real estate, then this course is for you as well.
Or if you've always wanted to get into real estate and you can't find all the information in one place, then this course is for you.
And why should you trust us?
Because we have over 50 years of combined real estate experience with $500 million in transactional sales.
We hold over $45 million of real estate holdings ourselves and manage over 1,200 investment rental properties.
We have done everything from turnkey rentals, short-term rentals or Airbnbs, and long-term rentals.
Fix and flips and wholesales.
And real estate developments. There are a lot of gurus out there selling real estate courses. They just want to get in your pocket, and we were tired of seeing this. So we built a complete course that truly gets you from A to Z to become a real estate investor.
This just isn't three guys sitting in front of a camera telling you about real estate. This is a real course where we provide worksheets, analyzer tools, real-world examples from our past real estate experience, and the steps you need to take to get started.
Listen, guys, financial freedom can be achieved through real estate investing, and anyone can do it, even you.
All right, let's head to the classroom.